Coach, what is life like for you now in this new world of NIL and transfer portal and trying to keep kids, get kids? It's different world, right?
Yeah, it's busy, but it's good. I think NIL is going to give our guys some opportunities that are going to be really good for them. But it's different. Certainly, it's recruiting's a little bit different right now, and the transfer portal is the biggest thing. Just roster management is kind of the buzzword that we all talk about, but it's figuring that out. We still signed a bunch of freshmen this year just because I still want to build a program. I want to have culture that I think is long lasting. The Hunter Tysons of the world that stick with you for 4, this time 5 years, I think are going to be. It's really meaningful. More, not only what he does on the court, but how he is an example of what your program's about and the standard that he sets for the younger guys that are coming in. So I think having a good core like that is really important. So that part's really good, but you're going to have more roster turnover now than in the past a little bit, and it's going to affect your recruiting. Whether how many decisions do you make to sign freshmen? I think it also maybe at least us with the 23s right now, we're not as probably far along as we have been with some other high school kids at this time. Just partly because you're still kind of finishing this up and it's taking a little longer, and then at the same time just projecting what's it going to look like. And the COVID extra year, there's a lot of other factors involved that have made roster management a little more difficult right now.
You just talked about the additions that you had on staff with the two new coaches and what you kind of identified with them.
Well, Billy Donlin is an outstanding get for me. Associate head coach, but guy who's been a head coach at 2 schools, been with me forever. I coached him in college. I've known him since he's 18. And he's just a great basketball coach. He's going to do an unbelievable job with our perimeter players. He and I just worked really well together. He was an assistant at Wright State for me. He was assistant at UNC Wilmington. We had a lot of success together. I think we just fit very well together, and brings a great deal of experience at the level, having been at Northwestern and Michigan. So just, I think he's a home run hire for us in terms of a guy that fits me, has experience, and has sat in this chair. And so I think that helps when you have a guy or two on your staff that's been a head coach, understands a little bit more what the head coach is dealing with. Then Sean Dixon is great, terrific young coach. Was a very good player, Presbyterian. I really respect Sean. He's a lot like me in that he was a guy who's just kind of worked his way up through the business, having been at a bunch of different places and helping them build a program at UNC Asheville. Really did an excellent job there at Middle Tennessee for Nick McDevitt, where those guys have taken over and had a really good year. Outstanding recruiter, a lot of ties in the Southeast. Good basketball coach, was a very good player. And then just a really good personality who I think will fit really well with our players. So, super excited about those 2 guys.
Graham didn't come out with a vote of confidence for you. He actually wrote a letter and said, "This is what's important to me," and through his support. How important was that for you to not just get lip service, but something like that?
Well, Graham and I have worked together for a long time. He's been the guy that I've dealt with. Sports supervisor for 9 years or whatnot. So we have a very good relationship. I think he has a good understanding of basketball. I think he knows that, not all the needs have always been met. And we've had some challenges and hurdles that we haven't always been able to get over. And so I think, part of what he's saying in the letter is that he understands that as the administrator in charge now, and that he wants basketball to be as good as it can be. And he's willing to spend more money on things if we need to spend more money. He's willing to hire more staff if we need to hire more staff. He's seen what things have been done for football and how that's affected winning, and there comes a point when you got to do the same for other sports if you want to have the same kind of success. And I think he, stated that that's part of what he wants to do, and obviously I'm excited by that. I mean, we all want to have more opportunities, we want to have what we need to be successful, and Graham is certainly providing that.
What will we see come out of that? What are some changes?
Well, I think, first of all, ability to hire folks that you need to. There have been some times where we haven't been able to hire a guy or two because we haven't always had the salary that you need to get a quality person. Billy Donlin's an example of you had to pay a little more. to get a guy of his stature, to get a guy who's been a head coach. And so, there have been other instances. We've lost strength coaches. We've lost a few people who are good when money's been involved. And so I just think those kinds of things are important, and staff changes can be hard, especially when you lose somebody that's good, because you're not always sure the next hire is going to be as good. I mean, it's a risk, and you got to spend money for quality people to retain. I think retention of quality staff is incredibly important, and so I think that's as important as anything. All good?
Good, buddy. Thanks.